Okay. Okay. So here are some updates about the lecture. Today it's me introducing mechanical engineering, and next week we have Professor Jiang Wei Hong to introduce chemical engineering. And later on, somewhere in November 4th, we have Professor Wang to introduce civil engineering. I found 3 industrial visitors, industrial speakers. Mr. Zhou, he will be introducing some digital engineering developments. He's someone from a really big software company, and he will share some knowledge about digital engineering. And there's another company, it's about electronics. I didn't put the complete information there because I still need to finalize the invitation. And in December 9th, there's a field trip. We're visiting E-Tree. Do you know E-Tree? Nobody knows E-Tree? Okay. E-Tree is a very famous research center. It's like a governmental research center which works on industrial development. So if you Google E-Tree, I typed it wrong. E-Tree. Industrial Technology Research Institute. Okay, so this is like a governmental institution for industrial development, and researchers inside this institute do research as well. But they also need to develop something really advanced, so they can transfer the technology to real companies. Unlike professors in Taiwan, unlike professors in university, we usually work on what we want to work on, usually for several purposes. 1, to get some research funding. 2, maybe some research topic that is really interesting for the professor. And also 3, maybe some topic that students can handle. So usually professors work on topics like those, for those reasons: funding, paper, students. Okay, and maybe his own interest. However, for researchers in E-Tree, they don't have students. They are all full-time employees. So their customer are the real companies in Taiwan. And for us, our customers are you guys. We will prepare good research, good teaching. But for them, they prepare good research, good technology development for the companies. And this governmental institute is there for helping the Taiwanese companies to build up fundamental research or technology foundations. Okay? So we will be visiting E-Tree on December 9th, it's going to be in Hsinchu. Do you know where Hsinchu is? Do you know what's famous in Hsinchu? Yes, meatballs, Taiwanese meatballs, so-called gongwan. Okay. Let me show you where it is. Hsinchu is like here. We are, sorry. This is Taiwan. This is Taiwan. Okay. This is Taiwan. We are here. So for those who have never traveled around Taiwan, Hsinchu is considered to be north, at the northern part. So Hsinchu is where? Here. Hsinchu is here. No, this is nothing. Yeah, sorry. They have too many places. Yes. Okay. This is Hsinchu, sorry. So it's not far away, but the travel time will cost more than 1 hour. I guess 1.5 hours. So if we get on bus at 12:30, we probably can get there by 2 p.m. maybe, if the travel condition is okay, if the traffic is okay. So I guess we will be staying in Itri for 1 hour. So after that, it's already 3:30. And when we come back, there must be travel on the way. So it will be after 5. I know some of you cannot go because you have class. It's okay. Just let me know you have class. So you probably can only skip your next course or just skip the trip. It's okay. If you have to skip the trip, we will take some videos and you can watch it. If we forget to take videos, we just take a group photo. You can only look at the photo. Anyway, so let me know later on. So that's the arrangement for December 9th. And there's another trip also in Hsinchu. Hsinchu is the one city that has our first industrial park, the largest industrial park. Most semiconductor industries are in Hsinchu. So TSMC, you guys know TSMC, right? Okay, Taiwan Semiconductor Company, right? So the largest semiconductor company in the entire world, TSMC. We will be visiting TSMC on the last week. This is actually final exam week. I'm sorry, I can only book this time. But luckily, we are on the last day of the week. I hope you don't have exam on Friday afternoon. If you do, it's okay, just let me know. You have an exam after the class, you cannot go to TSMC, that's fine. But if you can, everyone should be able to go to TSMC, because on the last week, usually you don't have class after this, right? So for the TSMC visit, they only allow 30 people they only allow 40 people maximum, but we have 60. So I asked them to, I will separate you guys into 2 different groups, randomly, maybe. And then I will, so it's like a bus A and bus B. So if bus A goes to TSMC first, bus B will go to somewhere to have fun. Yeah, because bus B cannot just wait at the parking lot. So when bus A finishes the tour, the two buses swap. Bus B goes to TSMC, then bus A goes to the fun place. Okay. So right now my secretary is trying to arrange a fun place for occupying the time. But for every visit, it's only 70 minutes, which means the fun time can only be less than 70 minutes. So we won't be having too much fun, just maybe a short stop and having some snacks or visit some nice place. And it's also in Hsinchu, so the fun place must be somewhere between Taipei and Hsinchu. Okay? So I encourage you to participate in the TSMC one. It should be a really nice trip and a good closure of the class, the last day of the class. And since we occupy your final exam week, I don't want to spend too much of your time, so I decided to swap with your final exam week on October 14th. So we don't have class on October 14th. Okay? Okay. The true reason for this arrangement is because I cannot find a speaker on that day.
That's my birthday.
What?
My birthday, 14 October.
What is it?
My birthday.
My what?
Birthday. Birthday.
Girl?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Yeah.
You mean October 10th?
14th.
14th?
Yeah. Friday, October 14th. My birthday.
What is it? I didn't know.
生日，
Oh, your birthday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I couldn't understand what you're saying. Sounds like a. Okay, anyway. I don't want to say it. Okay, anyway. Okay, happy birthday. We can come here to have a cake if you want. Do you want to have a cake in the class? You can. We can. I can buy a cake for you. Anyway. So there will be 2 more weeks over here that are still empty. So I need to figure out what we will be doing. Yeah, that's pretty much the arrangement. Now, back to what I'm going to do today, which is introducing mechanical engineering of Taiwan Tech. Okay, so a little bit history of Taiwan Tech. Compared to many universities in Taiwan, we are relatively young compared to them. And first it was in 1974. The name was different. It was National Taiwan Institute of Technology. And it was renamed Taiwan Tech in 1997. Okay, so most of you were not born, right? When were you born?
2004.
2000 something? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are really young. Okay, so yeah, it was Taiwan Tech before you were born. So how many students are there? We have around 11,000 students, and we have around 1,500 foreign students. We have more than 500 faculties. Okay, so that's pretty much how many people there is around the entire campus. So we have 6 different colleges. We are in College of Engineering, The main 4 departments are mechanical, material, civil, and mechanical, material, civil, and chemical. And we have a graduate school about automation. It doesn't have undergraduate program. It only has graduate program. Okay, so if later on when you graduate, if you are looking for a master program, that's also one school you can try to get a degree. Those doesn't include the programs. So IATP and GTEP are also in College of Engineering. Of course, you are aware of that. And the ranking of our school is, there's numbers, but in Asia we are doing okay, and in engineering, we especially in technical universities of Asia, we are pretty good. So we are the #1 technical university in Taiwan. Okay, and our business school is also pretty good, and also design. Like we won the Red Dot Design Award, and we do have the business school accreditation. So not many schools has that. Okay, so in different rankings we're within 100. Okay. This is for employability. Taiwan Tech is having a really good rank in employability. If you compare to some of the Taiwanese universities, our neighbor is right here. So we are really close to them. And there are also some really good schools right here. Anyway, I guess I hope this is why you are here in Taiwan Tech. And this is very related to GTEP. Taiwan Tech has this partnership with Tokyo Tech, the #1 technical university in Japan. So this partnership was built years ago, and because of this partnership, we have GTEP program. So most of our students in GTEP are looking for opportunities to exchange in Tokyo Tech. Does IATP student has this opportunity? Yes, because this is our partner school. So if you apply, they still will review your application. So everyone has the same opportunity. But of course, GTEP students know about this opportunity before they join this program. So they are well prepared. They have Japanese training, and some of them has the goal to have this exchange opportunity in Tokyo Tech. But for IATP students, you can also look for this opportunity as well. And in Taiwan Tech, we have more than 25 research centers. Those are the ones listed as university level research centers, which means in each center there are professors from different departments or different research directions. So those centers are more multidisciplinary. And like you guys are in 2 different programs which are also very multidisciplinary. You learn many things from different research fields. So you can also try to find possible project opportunities in those centers. So when you look at one center, you may think, this may not have anything related to you. You may be wrong, because there are engineering professors everywhere inside those centers. For take myself as an example, I'm involved in Industry 4.0 and also in the robot center. And there should be another one, the 3D printing. There's a 3D printing center, but I cannot see it right here. So this information may be old. There are more centers being built. So anyway, professors not only work on one research field, and you guys can also try to find different research directions. We have strong alumni network with a lot of Asian countries and also some other countries around the world. I think the strongest is our Indonesia network. So I guess some of you are from Indonesia. And also pretty strong in Vietnam. And Taiwan Tech has strong industrial collaboration system. Here are some well-known companies in Taiwan. They are so-called the VIP companies. So every year they invested a lot of money to our school, and there are full-time employees in our school trying to find research opportunities. And what they will do is they will contact professors. For example, I have worked with Chroma, I have worked with China Steel, Foxlink, and Aeon. I have worked with many of them. So they will, for maybe 1 year, they are looking for robotics applications or research developments. They already invest money in Taiwan Tech, and our employee who try to link to me and then build research projects. So if professors in Taiwan Tech are trying to work on projects related to the industry, you may have opportunities to do the same. You may have opportunities to help the professors by working with them. Okay, so today, one of the purpose of today's introduction is to show you what professors are working on. And maybe you can start to send emails to some professors and try to get opportunities to work with them. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, this is just not very clear. Never mind. There should be a map of the world, but it's too bright, so it doesn't show anyway. It's just saying, indicating we have partnership universities around the world, more than close to 400. So in Asia, I'm not sure if you are from any of those universities, but we have partnerships in many universities in Asia, also in Europe and America, and we also have dual degrees. So actually you can, if you want, you can look up to the dual degree opportunities in Taiwan Tech. You're allowed to seek for those opportunities. So right now you're only in the freshman year, but if you begin to look for opportunities right now, you never know. Maybe you can study for master program somewhere around the world. Okay, those information can actually be found on our school's website. Unfortunately, in most of the Taiwanese university website, it doesn't provide everything in English. Definitely everything is properly shown in Chinese, but sometimes they forget to translate them in English. So the English version of the web page may not have the most information. So anyway, there are tons of information on the internet. Try to find it. If you find it difficult to find stuff, you can contact me and then I can help you to find the right information. Because of you guys, we do have international students with a growing number, and this is just showing which countries that you guys are from. Okay. So this is numbers for exchange, numbers of laboratory internships. So there are actually some international students who come to Taiwan Tech to do a short-term laboratory internship, and you may see one someday in the future. And also Taiwan Tech is doing pretty well in university social responsibility. So there are also a ranking of it. You can see Taiwan Tech is ranked pretty high compared to other universities. And also, maybe some of you are from Paraguay. Our previous president and Professor Xiu from our mechanical engineering department helped to build this Taiwan Paraguay Polytechnic University in Paraguay. And there are actually some professors in Paraguay right now teaching. So, and also some of you from Paraguay because of this international collaboration. So for you guys, not only you can just come to Taiwan Tech to study, you can also seek for exchange opportunities, laboratory internships in the summer, maybe trying to find summer camp. And also definitely you will see a lot of project-based learning courses or programs. Okay? So those are the information in general. Now, let me tell you more about mechanical engineering. So in our department, we have 4 different divisions. If you are not aware of, this is the time for you to understand. We have design and mechanics, manufacturing, thermal science and fluid mechanics, control, materials. And here are the list of professors. The blue ones are full professors. I'm here. I'm the latest one who get full professor position in this division. The green ones are associate professors. The yellow ones are assistant professors. The difference between those 3 levels basically depends on the evaluation of the overall performance of the professor. So in Taiwan, right now, every professor gets a degree of PhD somewhere. In every university, every department, every professor has a PhD degree. And they start with assistant professor. So this is like a lowest level as a professor. And usually for every university, you need to stay as an assistant professor for around 3 years or longer time. Then the person can collect his performance, apply for promotion to associate. So if the review process is very long, usually it takes 1 year or at least half of 1 year. Once the person is promoted, he becomes associate professor. like a level 2 professor. And then he repeats the process again, collect his performance, then apply for promotion. Finally, if he got the approval, he becomes full professor. This kind of system is the same as many universities around the world. Okay, so just if you have no idea what does that mean, now you know. Okay? So our department also did something quite special. We have 2 more divisions on the right-hand side. We have 2 more. One is called the Smart System and Robotics. The other one is Smart Micro Technologies. 2 specialized divisions. And from here you can tell those professors are the professors from the original 5. So those are like a special divisions, and we invite some professors from the left-hand side and move to the right-hand side. They are grouped together to form a specialized research team. And those professors are from different research fields. So nowadays, the entire world is encouraging collaborations from different research fields. Okay, so where am I? I'm here. And I'm also in robotics. I'm also in microtechnology. So I'm everywhere. Okay. In our department, there are some professors are serving really important positions in our school. So let me introduce you who they are. Okay, the professors with blue color highlights. Let me introduce you who they are. First person you should know is our president, Professor Yan Jiayu. He is in the control field. He's in ME department. Okay. You may not know, or you know, Professor Yan Jiayu is actually from our neighbor. He's a professor in Taiwan University. So he became our president by election. And he won the election, so he became our president. After he won, he has to come to Taiwan Tech. So now he becomes our professor. He's no longer professor in Taiwan University. Okay, so Professor Yan Jiayu. And the chairman, sorry, we should talk about the dean. Professor Chen Mingzhi, he's the dean of engineering. So our department really has a lot of people who are serving really, really important jobs. Professor Chen Mingzhi, he is in the field of thermal and fluidics, and he's the dean of engineering. And also our chairman is from materials division, Professor Guo Yuling. He's our current chairman. And the vice chairman is Professor Chen Pingquan. He is from design. So as you can see, our professors in different divisions are doing pretty well. And each field has someone who is serving us. And for myself, I'm the director for both GDEP and IATP. And also there are 4 professors. Those 4, they are directors of university-level research centers. Like I told you at the beginning, there are 25 university-level research centers. And within those 25 centers, there are 4 centers that are directed by professors of our department. Okay, so if you are looking for internship or just having an opportunity to work in those labs, you can definitely look for the ones that are working in university level research centers because they have more resources. They should be able to provide good opportunities if you have the passion. Okay? But don't forget about the young professors. Because usually young professors, they just need more time to be promoted. That doesn't mean they don't have resources. We do have many professors who are young, but already doing pretty well with many industrial projects. Okay, so next I'm going to introduce them one by one. Those information actually could be found on the internet, but I'm here to help you to learn who they are quickly. So what I'm doing here is that I will show you which division they are in, and also I found a keyword for that professor. So if you are interested in that particular direction, research direction, that would be the guy. Okay, so Professor Zhao Zhengang is the most senior professor in design division. He's a mechanics expert, especially in fracture mechanics. Like if you have a material underloading, the material deforms. But if the loading is too large, it starts to break, and you may see some fracture inside the material. So failure analysis is the research direction for Professor Zhao Zhengang. If you are looking for research opportunities with Professor Zhao, you better do it quickly, because whoever is the most senior person in each division may be retiring in several years, because they are the most senior one, and they are usually really close to retiring. So if you are interested in Professor Zhao, you better contact him soon. Next person is Professor Lin Qiyu. He's a robotics expert. He's also the director of Intelligent Robot Center. I'm closely working with Professor Lin Qiyu, and he works with a lot of vision technology, AI technology, robotics. He has a huge lab, and you can directly see all kinds of robots inside his lab. And he also has a lot of international students in his lab. Maybe half of the lab are formed by international students, and especially students from around the country, around the entire world, around the world. I think I remember he once told us when he was younger, he usually traveled to many countries to build up international collaboration opportunities and trying to recruit excellent students from different countries. Like compared to many other universities, Taiwan Tech is doing really well. Professor Lin Qiyu is one of the reasons why Taiwan Tech is doing well in this particular field, because there are professors in our school who are willing to fly to other countries personally and recruit students. Okay, so this is Professor Lin Qiyu. This person is Professor Huang Songren. He was in Russia before the war began, and he's running back. Not because of the war, because his service in Russia finished. So he was invited to serve as a international administrator, an administrative officer in Russia, representing Taiwan. he was in Russia in maybe past 2 or 3 years. Maybe it's because he got his PhD in Russia, so he has good relationship with Russian researchers, and that's why he was there for the past few years. Now he's coming back, okay? And his expertise are in composite materials, all kinds of mechanics of materials, okay? And I will provide you this PowerPoint. So this PowerPoint will be an easier way for you to find professors. And there are some hyperlinks. You can quickly go on to their webpage. Next person is Professor Shi Yipei. She is a really strong researcher in gear mechanism. Okay, very famous gear mechanism researcher. And she has a lot of industrial experience. I know she's also serving as a 理事长, what is the English of 理事长? Like a president of president of Mechanism Society. I think if the title is president or director of the Taiwanese Mechanism Society, Research Society. Right now, she's the president. So she understands about the Taiwanese development especially in mechanism. So if you are really interested in mechanism or especially in gears, definitely she's the person to find. Next one, you may not know does anyone know who is Professor Sen Chen? No? He was the previous director of GDEP and IATP. Now he's the vice chair of NE. So the reason why I'm here is because he has to quit the director of IATP and GDEP and go back to NE to serve as the vice chair. And at the moment, I was promoted to full professor. So our dean invited me to serve as your director. Okay? So he knows a lot about both of our programs. If you have any questions about GDEP and IATP, and if you cannot find anyone to tell you the answer, he could be one person to provide you solutions. And his expertise is in microfabrication and also microfluidic systems. He's not in the field of fluidics. He's in the field of design and mechanics. However, he builds microfluidic systems. So he is more into building them. Of course, he works on research with fluidics experts and also himself as well. But he is really strong in making them, okay, using microfabrication techniques. Okay, next person is Professor Liu Yihong. He is an expert in brain research, brain-related research. He's capable of putting sensors on top of your head and take signals from your brain, detect signals from your brain. So if you are thinking of something, if everyone is wearing the sensor he built, his system can recognize who is paying attention right now, who is falling asleep, who is hungry, who wants to go home, who's happy, who's not. So basically he's doing research like that. And he called that a brain-computer interface. Okay, yes, question?
Can he control someone's brain?
No, he only detects signal. He doesn't force a person to do something. Okay, that would be not ethical. Do you know ethical? That would be not ethical. Yeah, he can do it to himself, but he cannot do it to anyone else. But no, he doesn't. He doesn't control a person by that. He's not in Spider-Man 2 or 3, Dr. Octopus. I think Dr. Octopus does that. Oh, Dr. Octopus tries to use his brain signal to control the robot, but at the end, the robot controls him, right? So it's not something like that. He only detects the signal and use it for medical applications. Usually, if someone is upset or ill, mentally ill, he developed medical systems to help the patient. Okay. Next one is Professor Li Weizhen. He is an expert in mechatronics. So he has really strong experience of industrial productions. And many of his students participated a lot of competitions, like design competitions. And his research team usually got first place in the competition with a lot of prize, cash prize. So I really want to work with him because he usually wins. But there's one time I also participate in one competition. My team only got the award of excellence. Award of excellence doesn't mean it's excellent. Award of excellence means you are not top 3, you are only number 4. It's only the name, it sounds good, but it's not good. Okay, and Professor Lee got number 1, the gold prize, number 1 prize. I remember the award, the amount of the award was around 10 times greater than our award, around 10 times. Okay, the other person is Professor Xu Qingqi. He is a student of Professor Zhao Zhengang, the first one. So they are working in very similar research directions, also mechanics, and especially in biomechanics. And he is a computational mechanics researcher. So he's really good in programming. He used computer to calculate the mechanics. Next one is myself. So I'm actually a design optimization guy. Different. The picture is a fake picture, like 20 years ago, and it doesn't look the same. I know. Yes.
Can we turn on the map?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Thanks. Love you.
Yeah. Okay. How much? Do I still have time? Okay. Yeah. So my research field is in design optimization, basically mathematics, statistics. But when I came to Taiwan to do research, to teach, I realized if I only work on mathematics, it's very difficult for me to get research funding. So recently I work on robotics, image processing, and like unmanned vehicles, some advanced technologies. In one of the weeks, I will be introducing what I'm doing. So in this week, October 21st, because I cannot find a speaker, so I have to serve as a speaker by myself. I will be introducing Industry 4.0 and automation. In that presentation, you will know more about what I'm working on. Okay. So if you want to do a project with me, October 21st, you will know more. Okay. Put it in mind. Okay. Why is people reading? If I move on to the next person, do they come back? Okay, anyway. So next person is Professor Xie Hongling. He's in optoelectronics. So basically, he works on optics and also some electronic engineering. So many, he builds machines that has high precision, like some optical precision systems, usually for measurement or for manufacturing purpose. Okay, his lab is called Electronic Lab. Okay. Professor Chen Yuxin is also from mechanism. She's a young professor in our lab, and she has a research direction which I think is really interesting. It's called the ancient mechanism, ancient machine. So maybe hundreds of years ago, there were people making some mechanism or machines, but they didn't keep the engineering drawings. And maybe tens or hundreds of years later, those information were disappeared. So in her research, she tried to reconstruct what was the design of that really, really old machine and trying to rebuild old mechanism. So I think that research field is really interesting. If you are interested, you can contact her. Professor Lin Dingzhen is also a young professor in nanofabrication. He's also in our division. And from here you can see he is working on something that sounds really small, looks like a really small. Nano this, nano that, and micro, everything is small. So he's really working on really precise mechanical systems and research directions. Now, the last person for design division is Professor Li Yuqing. He's a new professor we recruited from Nantai Technical University. And he is from the semiconductor background. He worked in TSMC in the past. So if you want to know more about TSMC, you can talk to Professor Li Yuqing. Okay. Now, let's talk about manufacturing. This is Professor Lin Qing'an. He doesn't look like that. He's the most senior professor in manufacturing division. Professors' pictures usually were taken 10 or 20 years ago. We are too lazy to change. So he probably had this picture maybe 30 years ago. He now has white hairs everywhere. Anyway, he's a very senior professor, and he's He's an expert in CAD, so-called CAD, computer-aided design or computer-aided manufacturing. When I was a student, I learned how to use some CAD softwares, CAD, and I got many books with his name. Now I work with him. So actually he wrote a lot of books in CAD, in those computer-aided softwares. And there are people still reading his books to learn how to use computer-related softwares. Okay, next person is Professor Zheng Zhenyuan. Professor Zheng Zhenyuan is also a very senior professor in the field of 3D printing. He probably is the most senior or advanced technology leading person in entire Taiwan, professor-wise, in Taiwan's university. So he's the leading person about 3D printing. If you are interested in 3D printing, you can definitely go find Professor Zheng Zhenyuan. He's the most advanced person. And he got many governmental funding for 3D printing. He also is a director for High-Speed 3D Printing Research Center. Okay? Next person is Professor Chen Zhaozhang. Professor Chen is a professor in the field of chemical mechanical polishing. What is chemical mechanical polishing? Basically, for semiconductor, we have silicon wafers, and polishing, making it thinner and more flat, making it more flat is very important. And this is a very unique manufacturing field, trying to make a silicon wafer thinner, flatter, smoother at the surface. So polishing is his expertise. And there's a CMP Innovation Center, and he's the director of the center. Okay? Next person is Xu Hongzhong. He's also the president for the Taiwan Paraguay Technology University. He helped our school to build that relationship. I think he's in Paraguay. Okay. His research direction is also related to optical mechatronics. There are some optical mechatronics professors in our department. He's one of them. He's a leading person. Professor Zheng Yili, another Professor Zheng, she is also in the field of 3D printing. She can even build her own 3D printing machine. So if you would like to experience how to build a 3D printing machine, you can go find Professor Zheng Yili. Professor Zhang Fuyu is a nano and microfabrication researcher. So from here you can see he worked on many different kinds of manufacturing process, and mostly in micro or nano scale. Do you know Professor Guo Junliang? You will know him in the future because he helped us to teach many manufacturing courses in both IATP and GDEP. So he's a machining researcher. He usually will teach you how to use machine tools, and he is an expert in machining for all kinds of materials. Okay. Professor Zhou Yuren is a young professor. He has a background of materials, and he also knows how to manufacture those fine materials. Okay, he looks like that. That's a real picture for now. 20 years later, he will not change his photo. He will look different in the future. Okay, but he looks like that right now because he's a newer professor in our department. Okay? Okay, this is a very new professor, Professor He Yujian. As you can see, Professor likes to use his official photo recently. Like, I also use that in the school's webpage. Okay, he is an expert in metal forming. So those are the professors for manufacturing. Now, you guys know Professor Chen Mingzhi, right? He's our dean. Dean of engineering. Do you know him? No? Because he doesn't look like that. Okay. If you go to the department office for IATP or GDEP on the third floor at I think a T1 building. Second floor is the dean's office. So maybe someday you will meet our dean on the hallway. You can say hello to him. Okay, he's a professor in the field of thermal science and fluid mechanics. So his expertise is about computational fluid dynamics. Okay, and those are his information. Okay, Professor Huang Rongfang is an excellent professor in thermal and fluid research field. He has so many inventions in this field, and he used those inventions to make a lot of money. If you are very interested in working with him, you probably can find opportunity to learn about real industrial product design. Okay? Product design. I know many of his design can be seen in the real world products. Okay, Professor Lin Xianqun, he's also in the field of thermal and fluidics. So his research is about turbo machinery. But he is close to retirement. And usually professors will request for extension of the retirement. I think he recently just got his extension of retirement approved. Professor Lin Yijun is about environmental thermal fluidics. Okay, so another fluidics researcher. As you can see, the more I move on, my introduction becomes shorter because they are not in my research field. So I can only tell you his name and tell you whether the photo looks like him or not. Okay, Professor Wen Chongyi is a young professor in our lab, in our department, and he has a really interesting research field, electrothermal fluidics. Okay, and I know he knows how to collect nanoparticles. If you are interested in nanoparticles. Okay, another person in thermal is Professor Tian Weixing. I know he works tightly with Japan. Because in Japan there's a competition where they try to build a machine or a system that can fly a person, like a flying. So I know he tries to build that flying person machine or birdman machine. Okay. Anyway, if you are interested, you can go find him. Next one is Professor Su Yuxuan. He's working in microfluidics, and I know he teaches calculus and mathematics. I remember many students enjoy his teaching. I really want to know how he teach, because many students told me they like his teaching. Next is Professor Zheng Xiuyang. Professor Zheng is having a lab next to mine, and he is working on MEMS, micro electromechanical systems, and most of his MEMS applications are in biomedical applications. Okay, like microfluidics or making some electronic devices. Okay, so that's the last person in the thermal field. Next, we move on to the control field. You know our president, right? You should have to know our president, Professor Yan Jiayu. He's a robotics guy. He is from Taiwan University, and the robotics he is working on is mostly about nano manipulation, basically very fine movement of the robot, like a nano moving robots. Okay, so he's an excellent researcher in precision system, and he's a control professor, and now he's our president. Professor Huang Wenqiao is also another senior professor in our department. His expertise is about nonlinear control. So for control, linear problems are easier, but for nonlinear ones, it's more difficult. And Professor Huang Wenqiao is an expert in nonlinear control. Professor Lin Ji is an excellent researcher, has a lot of publications, and he's also working on precision control. And as you can see, he applied precision control in many different kinds of topics. He also works on robots. Okay, next person is Professor Xu Jisen. Xu Jisen is an expert in AI and also machine vision. I think he probably is the strongest researcher in AI in our department. So if you are really interested in AI, face recognition, person recognition, human recognition, or something like that, you can go find Professor Xu Jisen. And I think he has a lot of foreign students as well. So if you are not from Taiwan, and if you want to do a project with him, there are many foreign students in his lab, so it should be fine. Professor Chen Liangguang is actually he's a director for a new research center. In our school, we have a new research center. It's about electronic vehicle. Recently, like Tesla, cars like Tesla, it runs by batteries, not by gasoline. So the cars that runs with batteries are called electric vehicles. And we have a research center for electrical vehicles, and Professor Chen Liangguang is the director of that new research center. As you can see, our professors many of them are directors. Professor Zhang Jiarui is also working on vehicle control. He's also one researcher in the control field, and he builds his own vehicles. Professor Liu Mengkun, he works on mechatronics, electromechanical systems for applications such as Industry 4.0. Okay? He works on a lot of signal analysis. Professor Zhang Yiquan also works on mechatronics, and he used those to do some measurements and try to find green technology. The last person in control is Professor Lan Zhenyang. He's a young professor. He works on dynamic systems, so for systems which are pretty easy to realize or detect, which are dynamic. He used technologies to detect the dynamics and try to classify the motion, and for diagnosis purpose. Next person is our chairman, Professor Guo Yulin. He's an expert in plasma. You know what plasma is? Okay, so he can generate plasma by many kinds of gases. And those plasma gases can have many research applications, such as surface treatment. Okay, he's a professor in material division, which is our last division to talk about. Professor Wang Chaozhen is about corrosion and surface treatment. Okay, and he's also in materials division. He's a very, he works in students' affairs of our school in the past, and he is a very, he cares about students. So I think it will be really nice to work with him. He cares about students a lot. That's why he did a really good job in students' affairs office. Okay? 学务长, he was a 学务长, students' affairs director. So he treats students very nicely. Professor Zhou Zhenjia, he also works on micro fabrication. As you can see, many professors work on micro, nano stuff because those are the more advanced technologies nowadays. And he also works on micro fabrication. Professor Zheng Weijun is more about surface and interface science. Okay, and you can see that he also works in semiconductors. Okay. Professor Qiu Qun works on materials for energy storage. Okay, like batteries or advanced technologies, hydrogens in materials. Also, another professor in nanomaterials, Professor Chen Sixun. Unfortunately, Professor Chen will be going to another university in the next spring. He's going back to his home, his home university, Liangming Jiaotong University. He was, I think he will be going there to take care of his advisor's lab. So if you are looking for projects, you don't want to, you should not find Professor Chen Sixun because he's leaving Taiwan Tech. He will go to Jiaotong University later on. Okay, last person, Professor Cai Minjun, is also working on batteries and materials. Okay, and he's also involved in microtechnology division. Okay, so now those are the professors, and I will be giving you this presentation. So whenever you're interested, you can just open this file, click on those web pages, find a person you like to work with. I recommend you start to find project professors in maybe several more years. Because if you do that, if you wait until junior years, maybe the professors are already occupied. Yeah, so I would suggest you to find professors earlier. And if you are not in mechanical field, you still can find professors in mechanical. Because nowadays we don't worry about who you are, where you're from. As long as you're interested, you can do projects in different divisions. That's totally no problem. As long as you have the passion and you are willing to spend some time on the project. Okay? So that's pretty much everything I want to talk about today. Anything else you want to ask me? So what does mechanical engineer engineering students do after graduation. Basically, you should be able to find a job pretty easily. You can, like our department, we have 5 divisions. There are jobs linked to all these 5 divisions. So for mechanical engineering students, finding a job is not a difficult task. But if you want to find a job that pays really well, no job can be paying more than TSMC. In Taiwan, TSMC is the #1 paying company. But most tiring job do you know what you do in TSMC? It's a semiconductor company. In our future, you will know more about semiconductor. They have production lines with a lot of machines. And machines run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But sometimes the machine will have some problems. So mechanical engineering students, mechanical engineering background employees will be responsible for fixing the machines. And we don't know what time the machine will have trouble, so you have to be there all the time. Operating the machine, when there's trouble, you will fix the trouble. Yeah. And because your working time is long in TSMC, so they give you a lot of money. And also because they make a lot of money. If they don't share the money to you, the owner of TSMC needs to pay a lot of tax. So you better share the money to you, share the income to you, so you can work longer time in his company. Anyway, you will know more after we visit TSMC. Okay? Any questions? Okay? We still have time, but I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to spend too much of your time. So, did we check attendance already? No? Okay, let's do it. Okay, please upload your attendance.